I was actually able to remove a lot of the other programs that I was using. And so essentially it's actually cost me a whole lot less money. So yay for that. And then since we've come in, we've actually started this party plan, which I think is going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to fill a gap that so many people have lost this year. And I'm excited to see where this all goes for everybody. Who else was supposed to share who they were?
Okay, so that's Lindsay, and I know you know some people. So Karen's here. Who's my iPhone 350? If it doesn't say your name, just type in the chat box if you can tell us who you are, because you can't see who you are. And what we want to do, there's nobody else from the team right now. We are doing, our big focus today is user Q&As, figuring out if you guys need some screen shares. I know some of the Arbonne girls want some assets I have in the back office that I said I could maybe today show pre-builds that we have, and then I can release them. If I've built them, I can give them. Sometimes I sell them. And then I just need people to know what's in there, because sometimes people copy automations, turn them on by accident, and wonder why my messages are going out to their groups. And so we can talk about that. And so the biggest thing is to first start with where you guys are at with any questions on the new name, the new plan, anything you've learned so far this week, and a special note about, Lindsay, something I should have trained on earlier this week, the updates to running things from the event page. So I dropped a video today, so I do want to highlight that video today too. So let's start with questions. Anybody have questions from anything we've done so far this week, or about anything with Assistly Social or the party plan?
I do.
Go ahead, Jean.
Okay, well, it was a little difficult at first for me to navigate in there, but I just wanted you to know that every time that I could have gone, when I had to download Chrome, I heard your voice and I'm okay. Thank you.
You're so sweet. You've been here for a long time, so you've been through, and so have a lot of the users that have been through it being more difficult. Giovanna's in the house. So some of our newer users, if it seems challenging at all, just roll back to a year or two ago. It's like any kind of growth process, is we've had to simplify a lot. Lindsay's really been, I don't know what the word is, the forerunner, the one who made the smaller plan happen. We know that your choices in software are many, and I am a user of this tool because I was using so many tools. So if you're new to tools and we're your first experience, we don't take that for granted. We understand that we have more in one system than you probably have in all the things you used before. Okay. So it's important, and this has been my part of sharing with you guys and where I want to hear questions. I don't really even want you guys to worry about how to use the tool right now. This is what I'm going to emphasize as a business coach. What I'm going to emphasize is a couple words, because if you can put this on paper, you could bring it to us and you could either pay our tech team to put it in. We could show you how to put it in. You could partner with somebody to put in. But remember, what am I going to share with you is you need a proven process. Okay. So all the software is supposed to be as an assistant. So this is what I can emphasize solidly enough with you guys. I'm going to give you some words that you may not use before now. Hey, Assistly, assist me. An assistant who's going to execute your commands. Okay. Assistly is not intuitive enough to know what's best for your business. Okay. Maybe you get some guidance from me on processes or challenge method or party method. But you as the business owner, you as the independent consultant, and I'm going to teach you how to hire a VA, whether you hire Assistly or my VA. When you're teaching somebody what you want them to do and you're expecting them to do it well, number one, you have to have it outlined on a piece of paper. And number two, you have to understand how to communicate it to them in the way they receive information. Okay. So say you're hiring an in-person VA. Here's what we all want. Can somebody just sit by my side and figure it out and do it? I had an assistant, but I had to pay her 24 hours a week, $20 an hour to start, 25 by the end. And I was just like, I don't know what I need. Will you just sit here? Will you observe me? Will you take notes on what I do all the time? Or will you find more efficient ways to do it? A software tool is not that intuitive, okay? It's not sitting at your house being like, okay. So what your job first is to say, what is my proven process? And the 3 things that you're trying to prove a process with is your TLC. So if you need the system to help you generate traffic, we need to know how organically do you get visibility on social so that we can help kind of people stop and look at you, right? If you say, well, I don't know how I do that, you actually are a step backwards. You probably need more of like some of the classes we have. If you say, no, I get traffic. Like, let's take Tammy Jordan. She's our highlight student this week, not because what she's doing is any better. It's just that I know her story a little bit more. So she has a lot of traffic. It's through vendor shows. And we might say, are you capturing that traffic? That's the L part, traffic to leads. And she might say, yeah, like they come over to my VIP group, and I'll say, how does that happen? She might say, well, I do a vendor event. I put a post in the group. This is her process that she would write down and go, oh, when I put a post, this happens. Can the software put the post for me? Now, one thing I know for sure some of you do is you do a lot of following up. You do a lot of messaging, right? You do a lot of tagging. You do a lot of supplementing of the conversation. Maybe if you do have text or email. If you can write this down, 2 things can happen. One, as a coach, I can work on the strategy side and say, that's not the most efficient way. Do you want to figure out a more efficient way? I'd be happy to do that for you. Or we don't have to say that. On the Assistly side, we're like, great, here's how you plug it into the system. So you kind of got to look at what you need. And then once you get leads, guys, traffic to leads. So now you're like, hey, I filled my VIP group. Raise your hand if your group is filled. But you're like, but nobody's buying. Nobody's engaging. Hello, are you alive? Can the software help me with these supposed leads that are not talking to me? Can it help me with conversation in my group? Can the software help me with conversion at my events, at my vendor shows, at my whatever? If you can tell me, Lindsay, Cathy Andrews, who's ever in the software with you, your upline, this is what I know I need to do. This is the process I want to go through. Is there anybody out there that can help me? Right? Or do I just have to do it all? Some of it you have to do. Unless you're going to pay $10,000 a month for an AI head to be your talking head and produce 1,500 pieces of content, you still have to be the one to show up and put your face on the content. If you want to do faceless content, you can hire a VA for that, right? If you want to have AI written content, you can use Assistly Social to write all your content and create all your graphics and post it. So do you guys understand? I can't emphasize enough that I'm so glad we have a tool that can execute things for you, but the tool is not usually the problem. Even if the tool is frustrating, like it's frustrating sometimes to train a VA, that reflects back on what else can I do? Can I learn more about how it operates? Can I learn more about how to put this in more efficiently? Is there anybody I can ask? And if you go, hey, this just isn't the right VA for me, that's okay, but you still got to go find the proven process. So Sarah Brown has a very proven process. She's coming here trying to figure out how to execute her hostess coaching process into messenger chats. Okay. Where are you guys at with, I know this works, not like, can you show me how to automate a post when you don't have a proven process? You will waste your time. What are you proven process? I know when I do this, this happens. If you're one step back, guys, we're not just servicing you by giving you a tool and a tech. We're going to actually serve you well by saying, stop for a second. Go to your upline and find a proven process, go to a coach and find something, or go to Cathy's classes and find something that you can grasp on and say, yep, I want to do it the way Lindsay does it. Cool, let's plug it in. Yep, I've made my own system like Teddy, Jean, who are my other run girls. If they want to copy my 7-day fresh start and they love it, dude, it's plug and play. But Jean might get in there and go, I love to go live every day. And my 7-day fresh start has 1 live out of the 7. Okay. So do you understand? Like, you guys, all you got to have is your UVP, your unique value proposition, your unique spin on things. And then here's the next letters you need. You need an SOP. Anybody know what SOPs are? This will change your world. Karen, you're muted, but.
Simple operating system.
Close, and I like it. I like it. Basically, yes. Standard operating procedure.
Oh,
Okay. Simple operating process. I don't care what you call it. It's basically the things that you do, and then the next things that you do, and then the next things that you do, and then the next things that you do. But we put them into something called an SOP. And this word was used more in the coaching space. And I was like, oh, like my party system, that's an SOP. It's a standard operating procedure for once you do what you do once you get a booking. That's why people, for those of you who came through Virtual Party 5 Pillars, I didn't think what I did was that brilliant. I took everything that was in my Arbonne back office when I was an Arbonne girl. And I was like, wow, this source is a great resource, but it's a very large library with no direction. Does that make sense? And all I did was say, well, what is it that I do? Like, how do I get a booking? How do I get a hostess? What do I do? I just started thinking that stuff that's in your head. Like I was giving Lindsay a hard time on class about. Lindsay's built a 7-figure sales team in her head. Can you imagine if some of that got out of her head, how much time freedom she'd have mentally? How much more she could even duplicate if she says, hey, team, here's our SOPs for doing a party. Now, some of you, Lindsay probably has a lot more than she's given herself credit for. But once you've put it into an SOP or a simple system or a process or procedure, what do? You just go do the process. You're like, oh, I wake up, I put my feet on the ground. You don't think about it. It becomes that subconscious takes over. And don't you want that so that you can give all your creativity and all your energy to like helping your team, helping your customers, helping the person who's like, this isn't working for me. You don't want to spend it being like, oh, I got a hostess. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, give her a hostess tag and the system takes over. So where do you guys need help? If you need help with processes, tell us that now, because if I have a class, a course, a resource, I will guide you. Okay. If you're, a lot of you are already students, if your upline does, sometimes that's the only gap you need. Go find your proven process, then get the freedom to work it. And if it's not any procedure questions, then where's the tech questions? Besides what we started with, I know you guys want to see. Sarah, I saw you unmute and remute. Can you unmute?
I did not mean to unmute. So
Do you want to
But,
go into your question or did you figure it out?
no, I have lots of questions.
So I'm going to screen share and then we can just, some of what Sarah's doing and with the event page, because Sarah, when you sent me what you're doing and I was like, oh yeah, that event page, that's a new feature that I did not show everybody. Oops, I'm going to start there. Let me start by telling where I'm at, Sarah, and then you ask questions and if I can answer it, I will. So when you guys are in your back office, I did not train you on the event page. This is new as of, I don't know, a week or two ago. And I totally forgot. He told us that he did this. You have to import your group still. You can message your group members the way I showed you and everything. But if you're running a party timeline, whether it's on an event, like a Facebook event, not this word event, but a Facebook event, a Facebook group, a messenger chat, a Zoom event, however you're running your events, you can actually go into My Business Events and click on new for whatever date is the party. So say next Tuesday's the party I made here. Say next Wednesday's the party. When you click on new, choose event if it's actually going to be a party, class, workshop, challenge. And so, Sarah, you started with this part, filling this out top to bottom, right?
Yep.
And then did you end up with questions on this page?
No, I don't believe so. I was able to assign my automation.
Okay.
And so my posts are going out. I will say about 80% of my posts are going out, not all of them.
Are you doing the post? Are you having the extension push them to the scheduler or are you leaving them run live while the extension's on?
I'm trying to figure out how to push them to the scheduler, but I haven't figured out how to make that work. So right now the extension's just pushing them out one at a time.
Okay, well, let's talk about that first because you don't want to rely on the extension if you don't have to.
No, I don't.
It's a very, very easy button. You just need to click. So you guys, what this event page is literally just tell the system top to bottom. You don't have to go into the group first. This could be for group, event, messenger chat, whatever. So Sarah, are you doing yours in a messenger chat or an event or a group or on a page?
Okay, I have a weird thing that I'm doing. So my party is happening in my evergreen party group.
Okay.
So it's an actual Facebook group.
Okay.
But because I am coaching multiple hosts,
yeah,
I'm coaching them in a group chat.
Yeah. And this is where, and this is a two-step process, we think, and this might be a Dominique question. I think it's going to be a two-step process, meaning you have to set up the timeline automation for the actual party itself. And then I think you're gonna have to set up the group chat almost like its own event and run a messenger chat automation on it. I don't think we can drag and drop a messenger group chat in your timeline, but we're gonna find out. So let's
That's
start with your
what
group.
I figured out today. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I have to do it as a two-step.
Two-step, yeah.
We're
But
trying to
this would
do it as a
also be an
two-step.
opportunity for feature requests if enough people do it that way. So let's just pretend we're Sarah. Sarah's going to do a party in her group. Don't worry about her hostess coaching two-step yet. That's advanced, but it's smart. Sarah's example party in the group. When's the date, Sarah?
I can just show you my screen too if you want, if that makes things easier.
I'm just going to fill it out and act like they're new. Like
Okay.
we're going to just pretend we're making a party. So you can just
Sounds
give me.
good. My party date I started today, yesterday. So
Okay, so
we can start next Wednesday.
We'll just pretend that's what it. Sarah, so if you guys are filling out this event page, which Sarah's already done, then you decide if it's a repeating event. So if Sarah's going to do an evergreen party every Wednesday, she can repeat it. If not, one-time pop-up. Event tags, I skip all that. Virtual venue. Now this is important. She's already told us it's in a group, you guys, but you have to tell the system it's in a group. Just because I typed up here, Facebook group, that's just the label for it. That's just what you get to call it. Sarah might have called it my birthday party. I don't know. You tell the system where it's going to happen, and that's actually new. This is where you could be booking multiple different kinds of parties from one setup. Okay. Now I did have messenger chat on there. I don't see that on there right now. And I want you guys to know that if you don't see something you're supposed to see, that would be a support ticket thing, because one of my student accounts is not having all the features. So she's doing it in a group. Now check this out. I can look for my groups and find them in this drop down only if I've imported the group. So Sarah, you might know that, you probably understand that, but the system doesn't know what Facebook groups you have unless you've done the steps I've been teaching you this week, which is go to your Facebook group and click the download arrow and import your group. If you've done that, it will be in this list that you can search. If you try to search and go, I can't find my whatever party, you probably did not import that group yet. So because I've imported that group, I can choose. And then I'm not going to mess with all the send invitations. That's something new and fun. You all can look at it and play with it and all that kind of stuff. It can even let you invite people. We can do that in a separate training. Automations is where Sarah's at. You guys were learning this week how to create an automation, and I showed you how to do it through this button here, automations and tagging. He's got it set up where you can do it all now on one page, okay? So Sarah, when you run your automation, if you already have one that you can just choose from, which I'll do that just for the sake of, we've been learning this week that you can create a new automation and drag and drop your steps, or you can simply edit a current one and it'd be your timeline. That's the time things happen. This is the techie part of it. Sarah, if you're doing a post, which I do, I've been doing a series of posts. I'm letting the system write my posts. It's really great. I'm even letting it write my messages to people, which is really great. There's one little toggle that might be new for you. And it just says, do you want it to allow your post to be scheduled? And I don't see it on this account. So maybe you have that same problem as me.
So I talked to Dominique about that. He said I have to add it in the actual group settings. So if you go to marketing under group, marketing, then groups, and then click your group, you can toggle that.
Oh, but you can't do it in the event timeline feature?
No.
Okay. So the same way we've been learning, then you guys, the same way you guys have been learning. So this event, I guess this new fast way might have some limitations is what it sounds like. Sarah?
So I'm still trying to figure out if that did what I wanted it to do though, because I did toggle that.
Mhm.
And then, so it made it look like I have to actually assign an automation to the actual group, not to the event of the group, in order for the pre-scheduled post to work.
Yeah, because you can only schedule into groups. And that's going to be something important to pay attention to. Where Facebook allows you to schedule posts, right? So that's a good point, because if you're pushing into a group, yes, you can schedule posts into a group, like organically, manually.
So what
you
I'm
can
saying
let
is
the
this
software do it.
timeline, I don't think you can, if you would assign a timeline to an event, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be pre-scheduling those posts.
Yeah, and that makes sense because Facebook organically doesn't allow you to schedule event posts.
No,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
saying event to a event in the CRM. Event in the
Oh.
CRM is a
Yeah.
timeline for a group.
I see what you're saying.
Um,
Yeah.
So I think I need to attach the automation to the group and not to an event in order to pre-schedule these posts.
Yeah, it could
What
be.
I'm looking at.
And that's the way you guys have been learning all week. This new event, this new option to go through the event page, I wasn't using. I wasn't even aware that it existed as an option. So if it does have a little bit of some things that don't work completely, then just do the way we've learned this week. But if you like this and you like the limited features, that's kind of how the wizards are. Sometimes they don't have all the intense features that the long way has. But that's how we've been learning this week then, is just go into your group and add your automation. Your messenger chat's going to be a little different though. You
So
know,
because I am trying to add the automation directly to my group, I can't add a timeline automation to the actual group. So I don't understand how the pre-scheduling works.
it's
That's
not letting you do what you see on my screen here now with going to automation and tagging and then adding a timeline.
if I click on add automation,
Yeah.
it tells me that I have none.
Okay, so go
And I
ahead and try to give it a
created-
date,
I did.
and then it doesn't let you click on add right here.
I click add and then there's no select button for me. It's just the new.
Oh, yeah, then that, well, do you
Even
have
though I've
nothing
created
to do?
automations.
Mm. Yeah, I would send it to tech then. So when you drop down, you don't see any options that you know you have built, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Exactly. This is what
Yeah, I've always built the long way, so my stuff is there. If you're taking a different way, I can't speak to that. Unfortunately, it might be just him. However that wizard is built, maybe it's not linking to the automations build out, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think you need a support with Dominique then, it sounds like.
yeah, I'm trying to do it the way he's telling me to do it. But
Yeah, I'd get on a Zoom with
apparently
them
I'm
though.
doing it wrong and it's okay.
Yeah. And you guys, this is the stuff that why you can file a support ticket is because sometimes it could be just it doesn't make sense and then you can come to these calls, we can make sense of it, we can post in the group. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know either. And in theory, it's supposed to work, but don't ever think you're crazy. Like, I'll be like, what you're telling me is not working. And sometimes like really my account doesn't have something that the new updates have. Do you know what I mean? Like that's happened to one of my student accounts and he's like, oh, let me go look. For some reason, it's not showing up in yours. So if you see something on the screen or it's not working the way that, you know, it's supposed to, especially those of you that have existing accounts, when there's new features released, sometimes they're only released on the new accounts. They're not picking up on the old ones. So file support and you can just pick your issue here and send that off. And then Dominique can get with you. Sarah, your part with the messenger chat, are you trying to build that through the event feature? The group hostess coaching event?
Sorry, had to get off mute again. I was doing that through the automation under
Here.
automation sequences, yeah.
And that's another way. For those of you that are brand new, I've been teaching you to go under marketing. Okay, the event wizard, if you want to call it that, today is the first day I even played with it. I always go the long way. I always go under marketing automation sequences. It's a little bit more of like finding where you're at, or I go under Facebook groups. When you're doing this way and you guys are building, this is a little bit more of a techie build out. And this is where it might just be beneficial. Sarah Brown is actually one of the builders for some of our software users. If you're like, hey, I don't want to create a weight loss challenge, messenger or a messenger party, can somebody just plug and play it for me and then it's just ready to go? Sometimes it's worth skipping all of that. Sometimes it's worth figuring it out, but we have some pre-builds for you guys and I can show you what you have. And then Sarah, with you, this is Jean, it says Jean's account, but I'm not able to edit it, but this is one of this students that I'm working with, and Jean, we've done some things with her and I've transferred them into her account. And so then she can use these things, right? So she's a student, she got that as part of what was an incentive over there. You can pay the VA team to do it, or you can just sit here and figure out the tech. Because it is sometimes intense. So Sarah, if you're doing messenger chat build outs, it sounds like then you just have to attach that automation to your messenger chat separately for now, unless you want to request that to be part of a timeline.
No, I just thought that they could be done together because both were part of the action. So
yep, it is part of it to, I think, individually messaging one person, but a group chat is different than an individual message. So just request that feature though. All right. Well, we answered basically nothing. So thank you, Sarah. Go
I
talk to
have,
Dominique.
have a few more well, I have more tech questions. I'll get with Dominique.
Yeah, if it's tech for sure, but or we can go around the room and see and then come back. Teddy, what's your question about the contact page, contacts on the page I was showing before?
All right, so if you could go back that to do the events on when you're creating the event at the very bottom.
And then you can assign contact tags to the event.
Well, I had a question on it. So where does the journey, the pipeline, and the other, what does that mean when it says none? Because I've got, when I'm doing my stuff, in fact, I've got, when I had some new contacts come in, they've got those already assigned. It's almost like they're wrong assignment. So I don't know what that means, the none and the, do I have to, what do I do with that?
Well,
So I
you
have
don't have to, yeah. So when you're creating an automation, and I'm going to show everybody the way I did it in class this week because it's going to take you the same place. But I just kind of want to build on what we've been doing because I'm not as familiar with the event page, but you'll see the same thing. Teddy, are you doing this for your Facebook group?
Well, when I had some people come in, you know, through the contact me thing and it adds them into my contacts.
Yeah.
It's got those three, it's got three contacts on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to change those. This like
Oh.
this, it's assigning them weird contacts.
Okay. If you're
And I
just
didn't know if I
changing
click
them,
none. Yeah.
yeah.
What am I
This would be for the whole group. So if you think of this page, this is why I'm going to show it to you here. This automation is attaching an action to whatever we're picking. So in this case, it's going to attach this action to the whole group.
Yeah.
If I say that they're, you know, it's an event, whatever. In this case, we've been looking at it under automations and tagging this way instead of through the event wizard, because then I just kind of in my brain know for sure I'm on this one group. It helps me. What it's saying is, remember when we did automated Facebook groups and it's like an automated group onboarding? So when a new member comes in, you don't know them from Adam. Do you want to give them a contact tag? That's all it's asking is like, pretend I come into your group and I haven't yet come into the group. Do you want to have the system say, well, because she's now in the group, she's a lead. If so, you can pick a journey tag. If it's defaulting to the wrong thing, and it's connected to the event, you can change it. If a contact themselves has the wrong tag, that's different. So is that what it is? Changing one person at a time?
Well, I just see all this at the bottom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if it says none, is it not giving them a tag? And do I
Yeah.
have to? Okay, so that's what
You
I was.
don't have
I
to
could,
tag your contacts. And a
okay.
lot of people don't know as much as you do, Teddy, with the contact tagging. But in the party plan, they can only do journey tags. And so pretend you guys don't know any different. The only thing we can do here is what's called the customer journey. So imagine we have a brand new person on social media. We don't know them from Adam and you don't want to assign a tag. I don't know why you wouldn't want to segment your list. I mean, that's kind of just like organizing your contact list, and I can show you guys how you can use it in a minute. I would think you want to assign them a tag, but you don't want to assign them a customer tag when they come into the group. They're not a customer. I would assume we're not letting anybody in who's not a qualified lead. So that's all this is. It's like a way to like scoop the whole party list. Or again, let's use Tammy J's example. I don't know that she would be able to consider everybody who comes into a vendor event a lead for her. I would say they're a warm prospect, because if you guys don't know where the tagging details are, I can show you in the back office how to read about this. This is under your training. But a warm prospect, you don't know if they want what you have. You don't know if they have a need that you can solve, but you are kind of not a stranger to them. She might say, well, no, I'm a very stranger to them. I'm just behind the scenes running the show. They never get to meet me. Everybody coming into Shopping Boulevard's a cold prospect. Then if they're moving into my group, and this was an automation on my group, then I could consider them a warm prospect or a lead. All it's doing is allowing you to tag every person that's on your guest list, so to speak, on automation without you having to like manually assign a tag to each person. The pipeline, I don't even think this is applicable in the party system. If it is, there's two different things we think of in our businesses. Let's take Lindsay. When I first met her, she was a lead, okay? And I think she was referred by Daisy Johnson, but you guys can correct me on exactly that scenario. You know, I think Lindsay came in first, then I don't know. However, the direction came in. Lindsay's a lead. She ends up signing up for Impact. Well, now she's a customer essentially, right? Lindsay now works for the team. So maybe I'd consider her a consultant. She's moving through the journey. And within each journey tag, there might be steps that you do. So when she's looking at things, she might request information. She's a lead. I might send her information. Now she's in my opportunity stage. These are kind of like the process or the steps that you do. That's the pipeline is how he has this set up. Okay. And then a little, and you can personalize it. I don't know that this is fully released under party plan. I think this might be pulling from me being on a higher level plan. But this is, again, just generic things that you're automating onto the group simply because you're creating an automation. And if it doesn't apply to the whole, don't make it happen here. Just leave it none if you're not sure, or leave it cold prospect at best. What will
Okay, so
happen?
if it says none, then they don't get a tag at all.
They don't get a tag at all, but you can't
Okay.
sort your lists later, right? If you guys don't know how to sort your list because you're not using the CRM part, you don't care. You're like, I know no different. They're just all in my group. The whole point is we're a full CRM. So if Teddy, and I said, hey, Teddy, go search, oops, tags, not keywords. Go search, and I've played these kind of games in class before. Go search your whole list. I want you to narrow in and show me only your leads. I only have 4 people in my whole contact database tagged as leads. Right? If that's inaccurate, I can't quickly take action and hurry up and send out a message just for leads. I'm probably sending out to my whole list. If I want to search and find my customers, if I don't have them tagged, this contact searcher button doesn't help me at all, which it's not because I haven't tagged my people. Does that make sense on how you can use it too? Like, why do you even want tags? So you can sort your list, right? And then you can message people from this page. These are more advanced CRM features, but you guys can do some of this in the party plan. That's why you have a starter CRM. So minimally, let's say you put everybody that comes into a party in an opportunity stage. And then you could go search and go, everybody who's come to a party is in an opportunity stage. Now I got this list of people. I want to select all my opportunity stage and send them a messenger. So it's not just the ability to search and message a group. If you've tagged your group members, you can search and filter your whole database. And that's kind of bigger business than just one party. Teddy, what questions do you have on that?
No, I'm good.
Does anybody have questions? We have not talked about contacts at all. When you guys are ready to learn on your own or learn more, you can go under training and learn more about the CRM features. But some of the party stuff he has set up in there is just helping you get your database built, not just doing a group with people in the group and collecting whatever you can collect. It's really setting you up for future actions. A lot of us are more just worried about, can I get through this week? But it's setting you up for future success where you can go easily sort, filter, message people later. Lindsay, any questions or clarification for tags are helpful for targeting or thoughts you have on this part? Oh, Lindsay found me first.
So I was actually just gonna put in the chat tagging, what was I gonna say here? So tagging is gonna be wildly helpful as you grow your contact list. Like this is something, so think of it like your email list. If you never started an email list in the beginning of your business and then 3 years later you have 500 emails, now you have to manually enter them all in, right? That's going to take a whole lot more time than if you add these tags as soon as they come in. You can then go individually as they grow with you versus now you've got 1,000 people in the system and now you have to go one by one, go, who was that? Who was that? Who was that? So that's what I was trying to say. So I'll delete that out of the chat box. But there was something that you and I had discussed to talk about through today was if you did your sequence or timeline, and then to put it into, oh goodness, what did you call it again? To share it out another way.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was? Give me a second. It was off of this one. Timeline first, copy it over to the template library.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you want to see the template library?
So I've been in the template library, but maybe we could show them once they have their sequence, moving it into the template library, which is what you were going to show.
Okay, so Now, I will tell you guys what I'm about to do. I'm on a student account, so we're going to find out together. Sometimes some of the features I'm used to are because I've had the automation plan forever. So Lindsay, the way it's a new update, so let me get under stuff that I've built. So let me go to edit and let me get into my folder because these are all just folders that have been shared with me. When you guys are in folders, if you click on edit, there's certain things you can't edit. So Teddy wants me to show my build outs. You'll be able to copy my stuff, but you can't edit it unless you make it your own. So see under my team, Cathy Callahan, these are things I can edit. So Lindsay, let's pretend that you guys built your own timeline automation. And here's let's do the 7-day fresh start. Let me see if this is the one that's totally built out. We'll find out together if this is the build out one or the basic one. No, that one has nothing in it. If you guys built in the timeline, which I think is where Lindsay was building, a lot of people were building, like you were building on this screen. One of the updates he made is you're like, well, shoot, I can only now share the actual whole party. And I'll show you how I can share the whole party. What if Lindsay like did these killer posts and now she's like, well, I want to put it in my template library so I can also use it for a different timeline build. I don't know. So Lindsay, whatever it is that you're like, shoot, I wish I had that on my boards app, so to speak, so I could use it in like 5 different ways, not just in this party sequence, right? Or I wish I had that messaging series on my boards app so I can individually message those, not just only use it in the automated party. Is that kind of what you're asking? Make templates out of stuff that you put into steps. I'm gonna go.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm thinking you can't hear me, see me nodding.
No, oh, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So what you guys do, and this is a newer feature, I'm gonna find out if it works completely on party plan. You just select, and you can see that I selected on the left, and then I go to, I want to copy items to library. Okay. Now, again, I don't know if you guys have the full template posting video media library that's in all of our automation accounts, or if you're limited on just a posting library. But all you do now is you decide where it's going to go, and you can just read what it says. You're copying the latest versions of these actions. Here's what's important to understand. I'm copying it from a party pre-build. Once it goes into the template library, just like making a copy of a boards app, that doesn't mean if Lindsay goes over and changes the original party timeline here, that's going to change where she copied it to. It's exactly like making a copy of a document and just storing it somewhere else. So as it exists right now, I want to copy these posts into the item library, and then you can decide what you're going to do. Where do you want to save it at? We all have multiple different folders. And if you're brand new, you may not know about all this. If you have the vision for your team or anybody that you share your referral link with to see all of this, you can put it under public or team. If you only want, let's say Lindsay and Daisy are working on a project together and she considers Daisy like a manager that gets access to like her highest level build outs. Maybe she could put it under a management folder, because each one of these folders kind of have like shareable links. So again, if you've ever shared a Google Drive, I can build whatever I want in the drive, but I get to decide who it's going to based on the links that I share. If you only want to use it just for you, and you never want anybody else to ever have a copy of it, just put it under personal. And then uploads is going to go into your upload library. So, and then if you want to give it a specific name, but see, Lindsay, now all it's doing is it's copying those posts, and this is your chance to rename it. Just because you're copying the content, you may not want it named the same thing, because see how the timeline said 11 a.m. Saturday. Okay,
Yes.
you might want to keep it called welcome post 3 days before and be more specific, because now it's no longer connected to a specific event anymore. We're pulling it out, putting it in the library. So 7 days before, or 3 days before, 7-day fresh start live. Now this one's a poll. Poll 2 days before. And if it can be multi-used, think about when you guys are building boards app, because I know that's where you guys are used to doing a lot of things. I might have curiosity posts that I can use in 10 different ways in a template library, but I might put it into different party sequences and your batch content, so to speak, now can be used. So you're basically putting this into your, what I guess would be your batch content for how you're used to building parties before. So instead of building the party, then sending it over to the content, you can first, Lindsay, if you wanted to, build your batch content and then copy it into here by choosing, instead of to create a new post, just pull one from the library.
And so I have the $67 monthly automated plan. If
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, I can actually go into, let's say, an old party and upload through. Correct?
You mean,
Even though I'm like if I went into Facebook and I went into an old party
Oh,
group, I can
yeah.
actually upload it all into that folder.
Yeah, ish. Okay, so I'm going to show Teddy my pre-build, and I don't want anybody to feel like we're pushing you to any plan you don't want. Teddy, I'm going to do that next, so don't let me forget. I'm going to show you, for those of you who decide to do 67, even if it's temporary, FYI, okay? I'm going to switch over to my 67 a month plan so that I can show you what Lindsay's doing. I know some of you don't want this plan forever, but you're trying to get content transferred into our system off of Facebook. And that's what Lindsay's asking. You have a few ways to do that. You can rebuild it all in our library, right? That sounds amazing. You can pay a VA to build it in the library. You can use AI to rewrite all new content, but let's pretend that, Lindsay, do you have something that's in a group that you would want to import? Or do you just want me to do a generic example?
Just generic, because I've actually done it the manual way. I don't know why.
Okay, so let's pretend this post right here that went super cute. This is a perfect example. Lindsay has spent a minute making you guys day 1, day 2, day 3 questions. Okay. She has made graphics. She might have made a description, and she put it directly into Facebook groups. She didn't first save it into the template library. She didn't have the system posting for her. Okay. When those kind of things happen, or you're over in a shared group, if you have automation, imagine that I have a puzzle icon instead of the little social attaché suitcase because I'm on the master account. Whatever it is, all you do, Lindsay, is you click on, yours will be the puzzle icon. You click on that, and then you say import to library.
Perfect.
Now, you guys will not see that feature if you're not on the I think it has to be automation plan. I know it's because party plan only has the option to copy a link from that button.
Mhm.
Okay, so the automation people, that's what I'm saying. Even if it's temporary, you're just like, I'm going to spend the next month importing all my content from Facebook into my Assistly Boards app library thing. Okay, that's how you would do it.
I thought it was an option. I just wanted to double check that one.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be the super fastest option, but it's faster than recreating it all. And now
Copy and paste.
here's where you get super day, I don't remember what that was. Day 1 Q&A post Assistly 5-day AFP, whatever that was. Okay. Once
Kathy,
again, just decide what folder you want. I have a ton of folders on my master account, but I would put it in PCAT UCRM management. And then post tags are going to help you sort it even better if you wanted to create a tagging system for your posts. And maybe if it's AFP or something like that, AFP post, I don't know. So that kind of sorts it even more. And so then it's segmenting again. Now it's segmenting your content. And now what it just did was it imported this picture and it imported these words. I did not have to go copy and paste. Now I can head over to my content library. And you guys would have this, and we can look in our media, our template, our post. I think that the party plan might only have the post library, but media will store like the pictures and the graphics and the videos. Templates will store the words. The post will store the whole post. It's pretty involved, all the different things that, if you're like, oh, I just want to go find a video, I don't need the whole post. You can search media. Anybody else got questions about something similar to that? And while I'm leaving open for questions, I'm going to show you guys what
Kathy.
Yeah.
With that you just did.
Yeah.
I had issues yesterday because I was trying to do that.
Yeah.
And if you noticed when you did the import to library, the text did not actually show up.
Oh.
What I ended up having to do, I talked to Dominique about it. He said that he would have to walk me through it, but I played with it a little bit more. You actually have to open up that
Oh. I see, I know what you're saying. The whole link.
Yeah, you have to open up like click on the picture.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
then do
so
it from there for
thank you.
the text to show up.
I didn't even notice that. Okay, this is important. So Lindsay, take note. I didn't even pay attention that it was. So this page right here, the whole permanent page.
It takes a minute for it's coming up now. So
So
see
yeah,
what I
but it
mean
already
at the top
started.
there, it's not showing up.
Yeah. But when you do it
So
from
do
here.
it from there, yeah.
Okay, you guys, this is important. And thank you, Rosalind. This is called, so let's see if it does. I didn't notice that. So let me see right now if it gives you different text. This, when you open up a post and that's all you see on the page, that's called the permalink page.
Mhm.
Oh, good job, Rosalind. Way to
Mhm.
save the day. That was Rosalind, right? Because I can't see faces, just going off voices.
Yep, awesome.
Lindsay, anybody take note? Thank you guys. If there's something I start to do and you go, wait, just stop me. The permalink page, a lot of people don't understand what is a permalink. The permalink is an individual URL that will go solely just to that content. So it sounds like if you're trying to pull content from the feed, it's grabbing the graphic and not the right content. So because we were in the whole feed and not just on the page that only had one thing, that's why Rosalind said that Dominique helped her understand how to do that. So you need to actually open up and you can either click on the icon and say get permalink and paste it, or just click on the little timestamp or click on the image. Those open up a window or a tab that only has just that thing. And then I guess your biggest clue is like whenever you are importing, take note of what you're importing. Okay, thank you, Rosalind. So let me show you guys some pre-builds we have. I will tell you some of this will not be beneficial to all of you, but again, remember how I was saying, like, have a piece of paper. And if you can show it to me on paper, I can give you the instructions of how to put it into the software if it's not already there. So this one, Teddy, may not be beneficial to you. This is initially built for PCAP U90, a 90-day business run. I gave this for a while to all CRM users, and this one is not a party sequence. This is 30 days of posts that you could push into your group just for group, what would you call it? Like nurture? Maybe every day for the next 30 days, you're going to do a September challenge with your team. And you want to send a positive inspirational quote plus an idea of what, Lindsay, this would be great for you. Plus an idea of what they could go do on social media. I built this automation first on a piece of paper and I said, okay, for 30 days, if I was going to post in my group, what would that be called? Your content calendar? What do you guys call that? If you say for 30 days, I'm going to text my team. For 30 days, I want to get into the messenger. Remember, these are the processes you need to decide. I did a 30-day business run. It was actually 90 days. And every single day I was posting, giving them an idea of what to post, giving them a unique graphic that we made. So I just put it onto a timeline, a piece of paper, and then I put it into the software. So I always have my big builds on a piece of paper first. Now you can't see what the image is. That's referring to a software image, but I refer to it at the top. So Teddy or anybody, since you're on this training and your brain is probably freaking fried, and that's okay, you will not die. If any of this that you see today is like, I want that, put in the chat box, I want that. I will release this folder, but you may not distribute it. It costs thousands of dollars for me to kind of create this content. I sell this content. I gift this content. This is not something that's typically CRM. This is like impact makers get this stuff. People paying thousands of dollars for build outs get this. So I will drop it. Okay. I will drop the drive. You can request access to the drive, but you may not distribute these sequences. Okay. So one of them is a 30-day social post. If you like it, it means it's built in the software because it's under the pre-built templates. Okay. So Teddy, I'll show you the Arbonne one, but here's a 30-day social post and you guys could use it in multiple ways. Imagine it was used for, I'm just going to go with my Arbonne girls because this is fresh on my mind. I used to sell 30 days to healthy living. Okay. And maybe for 30 days, I am going to supplement success for my customers by sending them a positive inspirational quote into their messenger every day, or every day for 30 days, I'm going to put a post in a group. It's done for you content and done for you automation that can be used in so many ways. I was using it for my students, and I'm suggesting you can use it for your team as a social post contest, but Teddy, you might just want the graphics. Okay, so that's built in there. These are just kind of generic in my mind. You know, keep going. And I have the whole post uploaded, everything. So if you guys have questions on the pre-builds, you got to understand what they are. The sheet tells you what they are, okay? And then how you're going to copy anything I show you. I have to go release it first, and so I have to find where I saved it at. That's always my fun part. Where did I put it at? I have all these pre-builds. So here it is. First 30 days of inspirational posts and social post ideas. We've had your 90 posts. So if I release this to you guys and you think you know how to use it, this is the important part. If you think you know how to use it, I can release it into your account. So Teddy, if I give it to you, let me show you what would happen, because I did this with Jean. I would say, okay, Teddy, I put it in your account. So you would need to go under marketing automation sequences, and you would be able to see under PCAT UCRM. And I've given you guys some stuff. There's already stuff pre-built for you. You just may not know it. You'll be able to see whatever you've requested, and it's just going to be sitting in my folder. I'll tell you where it's at. I'll say, hey, Teddy, I put it under, public. I put it under 30-day inspo post. You can go copy it. She can't use it just because I revealed it. She has to copy it to her account. These steps, write them down, ask about it if you get a pre-build, or just ask me to copy it all the way onto your editing side. Some people don't want it in their own account to use it yet. They just want to hold it, know they have access to it. So let's pretend that it was the Park Lane thing. And you guys are like, oh, I want Cathy's pre-build for Park Lane. Do you really? I mean, are you actually going to use that, or do you just want to look at it? If you just want to look at it, just look at it on the piece of paper, right? What happens is people are copying them into their system, trying to use them, and then accidentally activating something because they didn't really know what they were copying. But say Teddy's like, no, I want that Arbonne build out, give it to me. Then all she needs to do is pick whatever it is that she's wanting. And then it's just a drag and drop. These are her folders. She can just drag and drop it into her own folder. Now she can use it. This is really the techie side. Okay, some people have no clue what's in their system. They just know that they activated it and it's working, and that's how they like it. That's why I paid a girl $650 just to build out my customer onboarding and put it into the system so that I didn't have to know where it was saved. I didn't have to copy. I'm just like, will you just tell me that it works? And then I just add a contact tag, and then all the magic happens. So Teddy, what questions do you have? Not about like what other builds do I have, because I'll show you, but the ability to like see the content on a piece of paper, that's one thing. And then the ability to copy it if you really do decide you want it. Do you have any questions on that?
So yeah, it would be great to see it first before I, throw it in the system, but I know how to copy and put it in the system.
Yeah.
So, and then I just look at it and see if it's applicable to me once you do it, and then I can go in and fix it or change it or whatever I want to.
Yeah. And some of them, you guys, like with the Arbonne build, I didn't do it the way I should have. I didn't do it on a piece of paper first. I just built in the system. So now I have to go do what Lindsay's learning to do, copy it into the template library, and then I have to put it on a paper. This is a Norwex one. This is one I did for maybe Tammy Sankey. I'm not sure, but she gave me her scripted build out. And so then I went and put it into the system. Okay, so this is a Norwex one. This is one that a lot of people copied. You might find value in looking at the paper. I don't know if that means you find value in copying the exact party automation. But if you do, I tell you where it's at, it's in the folder, messenger folder called Messenger Party Post. So I think sometimes we just want to see the flow and then decide. Any of the Arbonne girls probably want the exact automation for Arbonne. Any of the Norwex girls probably want the exact one. But if you just are liking the idea of what is in the 3.5 month team member onboarding before you copy it, I gave you guys the folder. Again, do not distribute it. I do sell it. Because this is a lot of time, and this is also like strategy. I mean, this is how I onboard someone alongside of just giving them a resource library. It's 30 days of check-ins, 3.5 months of check-ins. It's the whole party flow. And we talked about releasing a party timeline to you guys tomorrow, but we've got to all agree on a generic flow, okay? So I will tell you for sure, it looks like in the CRM template folder, my Arbonne girls might just have to either look at the 7-day through the back office or wait till I get it transferred onto a piece of paper, because it looks like I just built the Arbonne one in the system instead of building it on a piece of paper first. I did not take my own advice. And so what that means is I got to open up each one of these things, or you do, okay? And this is a very basic one anyway. Jean and I built it out really intense on a piece of paper and didn't build the whole thing into her system yet. Right, Jean? Did we
Yeah.
build the whole thing? Or did we only do it on paper?
Paper, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, what other questions do you guys have with tech, with stuff you've been trying to play with? I mean, this is not just one system that posts your stuff. This is an intense, amazing, robust business CRM,
Well,
right?
unless anybody has something. Oh, Jean, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I have just one quick question. I'm going back to the beginning, and that's contacts, because I've never gotten back there. All the contacts have changed. And is that the best thing to do? Is just, remember, we took all the ones from my business? Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that it? Just start from the beginning?
Yeah, guys, and that might be, let me see, Jean, if I were you, I would be like Lindsay. Lindsay didn't do any of this advanced stuff in the beginning. She was working with the contact manager, the follow-ups, all of that, not automation build-outs. Lindsay, I can go through that more, but was there other questions too? Lindsay said she had an aha moment. Oh, okay. Fixed time.
I have a full Facebook group that's a 90-day for the users for like our team. I'm like, if I could import that and then they can schedule it through our system, done, right? And then I had that one question, which is for the people who are currently doing exactly what we're doing, booking like their timeline.
Yeah.
One thing that I had a question of when I was doing the scheduled time is inside of it, there is it says relative time or fixed time.
Yeah.
Maybe explaining that, how it works, and then how it applies to the time on the first page and when scheduling it to different groups. Because I know I got very confused and I'm not 100% on it either. So I'm guessing that'll be one everyone will have a question on.
Okay, so let's do this for the party stuff, and then we'll go to back to basic steps. If you want to look at just like what the basics are that you guys can be doing with the plan, even if you're not ready to fully automate a whole timeline. When you do a party pop-up, or party timeline or automated party sequence, and you're looking at kind of the times that it's giving you. So I'm going to make sure we're on the same page, Lindsay. There is the time at the top left. So let me edit this automation. When you create a timeline, there's the time at the top left right here. Is that what you're talking about?
So that's the beginning. And then when you, let's say, put a post in inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it has like one day before and it's changing the time and all that stuff.
Exactly. And then inside that, it has fixed or variable.
So I want to share with you guys that first, this time in the top left is the time that you chose to tell the system that your party is at. Like you do have to pick a time. I know on the new wizard, it says like, is it an all day party or is there a time? I like to kind of consider a time that it starts, even if it's kind of open so that I know what I'm building around. So I just said that the party starts at 11 a.m. That's probably the time I'm going to go live. It could be in my mind the time I post the first official post that kicks off the party. So that part right there is based on your time, like your time zone. And then when you click on the inside and you're right here at relative time, 6 a.m. fixed time, those two, Lindsay, I don't know.
All right. So what Dominic had said is it was fixed that is the time for sure that it's going to go out. Relative is relative to the time that you've scheduled it.
I don't know.
Okay. So I'll get with him again and then once I clarify, I'll update everyone.
I've never even paid attention to that drop down. There's a lot of options. Look, see, it went away. I knew I didn't want to see that option. Go away. So I just have to go.
Actually, if you click it, Cathy, It
Yeah.
didn't go away. It just
Yeah.
dropped further to the next, go down further.
Oh, it's down there.
Yeah.
Well, I still want it to go away because I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know those options. Those are good questions. There's a lot of extra options in here that I don't know what they all are. But if you want it 3 days before, but you don't want it to hit at the same time as the party, you want it to hit at 8 a.m., 10 a.m. That's that part. 3 days before what? 3 days before September 4 at 12 p.m. What time? Yeah, so that would be a question for sure. I can't answer. I wish I could. And then here's the best thing you guys can do. Do not execute your first party for real. I would recommend, so let's pretend everybody's ready to play because you got one more day of this Q&As and all that stuff. I would, for today's assignment, go create a fake something. I feel like groups are the easiest. I like to play with groups. They have the most known features, and most of us are doing events, parties inside of groups. But if you want to play with a Facebook event, messenger chat, all of that. But I would go to Facebook Home. I would create a new group. I would call it something random, and I'd probably invite 5 of my friends that are in this group right now to come to my new group. So if I say new group, let's say, and I call it AFP tester group, 5-day training, choose privacy. I leave it private because I don't want everybody to see my test, leave it visible. And then let's invite Lindsay. I would just go ahead and invite some people that are okay with coming in. Jean, can you come in?
I can.
Tammy J. And you guys don't have to respond. I'm just gonna, if you put nobody in the group, you know, then I don't know, I don't even let you set up a group sometimes the way you want it to. Okay, there, done. Okay, hopefully that's right, Tammy J. It is. Okay, good. Now, you don't need to make a pretty cover photo. You don't need to make a description because you're literally just testing the software features. So if you're testing, let me just import a group. Let me message the group members. I got to wait for these girls to come in. So far, they have not, come in, but I've invited them. Maybe you want to test it with some more people. Remember that your beginning steps are import your group. So you have to do that, whether you're using the event wizard or the longer way with the automations and tagging like I've been teaching. Import the group. So hit the down arrow. Now the group is being sent over to the software. Okay. These are the steps we've been doing this week. You guys can play with it. I would never, ever test automation on an actual party. Because if you set something up wrong, you put the wrong time, you're going to be sad. So I actually executed mine twice in tester groups. Now you can see the icon has changed. Yours will be the puzzle. Now you've granted, I have a lot more options because I'm on the full automation plan. But now I can do the automation and tagging that you guys have been learning this week. So on the party plan, you won't see these other options. You won't be able to import member questions, answers, all of that. But you can do the automation and tagging. If you upgrade, then you can do the full groups. Remember, this is just testing it. Don't stress yourself out. Nothing's going to be harmed. Choose a tag. I've got a lot of different accounts on this major account here. You're not going to see that many. Add a tag. And as long as we add a tag, now that's all you got to do. The system's going to import the members and it has imported the group. So now minimally. So Jean, if you do nothing else with an automation, but you go import your 7-day group with clicking that down arrow and then clicking the automation and tagging and just giving them a tag at the bottom of that page, we could go message all your group members with a few clicks of a button. That is so powerful to me. That's a game changer. If you did nothing else with the software, but for $15 a month, you imported groups and messaged your members. Guys, check this out. Okay, I'm gonna message all my Arbonne girls. Now remember, I've been teaching this 3 times this week. Now that you've imported the group, now that you've imported the members and you've given it time for them to import. So my group that I just did isn't going to have the groups people in yet. They haven't even accepted. So wherever, see how many groups I have. I'm not going to search for that one. Once it's imported the members, here's all I got to do. Click on that number. And if I really wanted to message every group member, okay, I can go to, I want to select all, send a personal messenger. I could do 1 page at a time because maybe you don't want 100 messages tied up in the system. Might be smart. Maybe you're only going to message 1 page of people at a time. However you're going to do it, if you're going to do 1 page at a time, what you do to how I just selected that whole page is you hold down your shift button before you click, and then it will select that whole page. Okay, so maybe today I'd message just the page 1 people, however you go about it. I want to send a personal messenger with party plan. Like, I swear to freaking goodness, I don't know any I know like maybe 2 softwares that even do this, and they don't do it for 15 a month. Okay, so even if this is all you did and you said like this, hey, friend, thanks for being a part of my group. This is what I do a lot. And then you might go, well, what group is it? You guys can actually just type the name of the group. You know, thanks for being a part of my 7-day fresh start group. Thanks for being a part of my Arbonne, whatever group. Or if you have the little custom value button, you can actually have that fill in for you. There's all kinds of little placeholders. Is it letting me choose group? This one does not. Does it? Does it say group? Anybody see group? Nope. Okay, so this one doesn't let me choose group. Modernize with Arbonne and duplication, whatever it was called. If it has a little placeholder, he recommends use the placeholder because then it will fill in automatically. Checking in with all members to see if you have our new party plan that allows you to you guys get what I'm doing here? I am using it now, but you would want to check in with what you really need to check in. Checking to see if you got signed up for our next event, checking to see if you got your 7-day fresh start ordered. I don't know. Now, the only thing you guys have not learned, because this is the party plan training, is variations. And I noticed in my student account, the variations button was not working. It should be available for you guys. If it's not, you need to file support. See how it says variation? What this allows you to do is not have to send the same message to every single person. So if you're like, oh, I want to use bubble font, well, it might be hard for them to read, but go ahead. But if you say, well, I don't want them to all have the same thing, you can actually use that little AI genie on the right side to mix up and make like 13 different variations of your message. There is a very, very minimal cost to using AI. Go look under the usage section. If you don't want to use the AI genie to like rewrite this in different ways, you just click on variation and then it'll open up that same message, but you just need to mix it up a little bit. Like, don't say the exact same words. If you're going to send this out to 100 people, you will go to Facebook jail. Okay. So if this part's new to you, understandable. A lot of people don't know about this feature, but this is on your party plan. Like, this is huge. So I'm going to let the AI genie mix it up 4 times. Okay. Because I'm only sending it to a list of 20 people. Honestly, to a list of 20, I probably didn't even have to mix it up maybe once or twice. And that's it. Then you can send it, keep your extension running, and the software Assistly will send out your messages for you. If nothing else, if you never automated a post, but you could easily message everybody in your group, your event, whatever, to remind them that you're going to go live. To follow up after you go live, you can do it this way. If you get fancy, you can add your posting. If you get fancy, you can add your timeline. If you get fancy, and Jean, this is where maybe it's not fancy to people, but to me, it's a next understanding step. You can go to your contact screen, and Jean has imported her whole file from her network marketing business. You could import more contacts into here. You could start segmenting and sorting and messaging, but if nothing else, if all you guys understood is marketing, Facebook groups, import the group, message the people, would that help you? Could you make use of $15 a month, messaging your group members even once a month so that you can be in their DMs? Okay. I don't think we can emphasize enough. Like, I'm blown away that that feature is in the party plan. And I know that's not even why you guys are here. So what questions do you have? Then if you want to learn more about the CRM, go into your My Business training and watch the CRM trainings. And yes, there's a lot more you can do than what we've been doing this week. So for class, as we close out, if I were you, I'd be practicing importing a group, messaging members, even if you only select like 3 of the members. Like, you don't have to select the whole list. You can do a fake group like I did. Okay, so any questions? Because we are at our time limit now.
Cathy?
Yeah.
So when we import our groups and we have new members coming in, do we have to import them as they come in?
No. Our system, unless you turn it off, Tammy, this is very different than other software. He's got it constantly going on this like cycle, and you may not know it, but there's this window running in the background. So if you have on Facebook open, you're logged into your system. There's 3 things you want to be logged into. Log into Facebook all the time, Tammy. Keep your Facebook tab open. Keep your messenger.com tab. A lot of people don't know you need that tab open. Okay. And then be logged into the software. So as long as you have those 3 things, let me open up a new window just to show you. What will happen is the system's going to kind of just be scraping, I think is the word, all the time for any actions you've told it to do. And when it comes to you having a group synced with the system, you're going to kind of notice that all of a sudden you have new group members, or all of a sudden you have, you know, messages that have gone out. That's the automation part of where it's not like you have to, oh, I'm not even showing my screen. Sorry. That's not the part where you have to like tell it, like, go scrape this group. He's got it running on doing that process for you, unless you decided for some reason you don't want it doing that. Okay. If you decide you don't want it doing that, then you can pause your automations, or you can, you know, unsync the group. But if you've got that group synced with a tag or with an automation, it's going to keep refreshing. And that's important to understand, you guys. Like, yes, the system keeps looking through your friends list, looking through your groups for new ones. So don't run 80,000 automations and forget that you have it going. Like, I have way too many groups synced actually that aren't groups I even monitor anymore. So Tammy, what you might want to consider doing is, once you are done with a group, it is going to keep trying to find new groups. So if a group dies, like if it's not an evergreen group like mine are, if it's an event that's over and you don't want it keeping on, I do sometimes sort my groups like into things that I'm not doing anymore, that are like old groups, and I'll just go into edit automations and remove a tag so it doesn't keep trying to like import them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if there's no automation on it and there's no tags on it, it is not constantly importing those new members. Because remember, it does tell you for them to be imported, you have to have an automation, a giveaway, or a tag. So if any of those things are not on it, it won't keep searching. But if they are, it just keeps updating.
So with
And I
my,
just- oh,
sorry. So with my computer, I have to shut it down periodically because it freezes if I don't. I don't know why. So I
It'll just
normally
pick up
shut
where
it
it
down.
left off. Yeah.
But if I just start things back up, it's going to kick back off where it was shut down
That's
at.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
and you guys, I'm not telling you never shut your computer down, because it'll burn up and you have to pick up your computer to leave. But you got to think about something. Like, the extension goes to sleep at night, so it actually stops. I would never tell your extension to stay awake all night. You control this under account and settings. So Chrome extension settings, reason why we tell it to go to sleep is because you don't want to appear that you're a bot. Okay. Oh, I just figured something out, by the way. That explains a whole lot of things to me. Okay, I would like everybody to look at the page on my screen. I thought this was when the extension runs. This is when the extension doesn't run. That's why I'm messaging people all night long. I'm so sorry. Okay, I wanted to go to sleep at 8 o'clock at night, and I wanted to wake up at 8 a.m. Oops. So Tammy, fix that in your own account. The
I
system
just
is
thought you
default.
worked all night long because.
No, heck
wake
no,
up.
man. But whatever I've told the assistant to do, so to speak, it will work within the hours we ask it to work, and it will go to sleep when we tell it to sleep, and it has limitations. Okay, we ask our assistant not to send out more than 20 friend requests a day, not to unfriend more than 20 people. So Tammy, all these settings will also determine how much it does during that time period. I know Lindsay can get by with more than me. I have it setting only 50 messages a day. If you're used to mass messaging, maybe you could change that to 100 a day. But you don't want to have the system doing tasks that you've never done in bulk at mass scale and then going to Facebook jail. So even though it could work 24 hours a day, we still want it to go to sleep. So Tammy, what happens when it sleeps, it wakes up and it picks up wherever it left off. And so if you're putting it to sleep even more by shutting your computer off, whatever, you just now know that it has to kind of go pick up wherever it left off. And if it has a lot of things to do, it's, you know, going to take time to do those things. So the more you having it do, remember, it can only do one thing at a time. That's the important part. And when it comes to Facebook, personal stuff, messaging, If it's like texting, email marketing, business page, all that stuff relies on a different thing. It's called API. It doesn't need the extension. So there's no delay in any of that. There's no one thing at a time. It's just that extension that's acting as your assistant. Your assistant's only one person. She's only got, you know, she's smart and she's fast, but she's got to act like a person or else it will send us to Facebook jail. And we don't want that. Okay.
How did you get to that page that showed the timeline for that?
There's two ways for the extension settings.
Yeah.
There's actually two ways. A lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know this. Let me stop and come back on the share because it keeps not sharing the page I want you to see. Two ways to go about it. Remember the way he has our software set up. You can access most things directly through Facebook or through your back office. So if you're in your back office and you want to see all your extension settings, go down to account and settings and go down to Chrome extension settings. Okay. If you're on Facebook, you can go to your Google Chrome extension up in your URL address bar. So see this extension right here is, let me turn on Peak UCRM so it looks like what you guys look. When you're under manage extensions, if you have it turned on, only if you have it turned on, what will happen is I pin mine. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but I pin my extension so I can see it easily. So see it's pinned right there. All you do is click on it. And a lot of people don't know that now in the middle of your page, although we need it to be like yellow or something brighter. When you click on that, it opens up a menu of options right here on Facebook. So do you see in the middle of the page, it says about the extension, select the provider, create a support ticket. You can do right from Facebook. You don't have to go to your back office. Okay. Extension settings, it'll open up the same page you see in your back office. A lot of you guys don't know, you can open up your tasks, your contact pages, the posts that you're watching. You can open up training all right here from the Facebook extension. And then you can also pause if the window's popping up. You may not know what that means yet, but the back window that's doing the work, your assistant sometimes like jumps in front of your computer and you're like, get away. You can pause her jumping in front of your computer for an hour. When she jumps in front of your computer, it makes her work more efficiently, but you're trying to work, you don't like that. If you're not working, you don't care. And then if you pause all automations, just be careful because then it might get backed up and then be sending out old stuff if you forgot. So this would be the same right there. And this, see my student account's on the default. See how it goes to sleep from 11 to 6. In my personal account, apparently I totally screwed that up. Oh, well. Okay. Any other questions?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to go back and in terms of like importing people, one thing that I have learned is that if a person leaves the group, they are still showing in your system as a member. So if you go to bulk message all members, you may be sending it out to people who have left.
True.
So you may want to like manually scrape that on your own once in a while just to go through.
That's a very good point. This happens to us a lot in class. And people will be like, because they can't unsubscribe from being a contact in your database. If you essentially chose to import them at some point, you wrote them down essentially on a piece of paper. And so if they chose to leave the group, just because they left the group doesn't mean they left your email list, doesn't mean they said, quit messaging me. So if you don't want to tie the ability to message them to the fact that they're for sure in the group, then you're fine. If you're just like, hey, you're a member, and if they're like, I'm not a member anymore, I left because whatever. I've never had anybody say that unless they're just like, maybe the assistly social people. I'm not in that group anymore. I don't use that tool. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I will remove you from my contact database. And what you have to do in that case is just pull their contact card or pull them from here. From what I understand, and Lindsay, I don't think this is inaccurate. I don't think there's a way that we can have the system automatically remove them from here just because they remove the group, only because of the information that Facebook doesn't give us, is what I understand. Like Facebook doesn't give you a list of people who left for him to be able to import it into here to match it up, is what I understand. So.
Yeah, the only reason I found out is because I did essentially an audit of my group. I essentially did a bulk message saying, hey, I just wanted to thank you for being a member.
Yeah.
wanted to confirm that you remember you're in that group,
Yeah.
and did you still want to be here, kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
found 2 or 3 that had at some point left.
Yeah, and on their contact card, because just because they leave the group may not mean that they want to leave your whole system. I'm looking at my own contact card, like I have 4 different tags on me, right? This is because I was in the PCAT U90 run. Maybe I'm not in that anymore and I can remove that tag, and then that was connected to being in a group that would help me sort my contact database. Lindsay, do you know how you can see the whole history of people, how they got into your system, what actions they've taken? It's pretty intense in this CRM, to be honest. You can make notes on people. You can see what events they're coming to. You can see all the conversations you've had with people. This is why having a CRM, not just a posting software, is a little bit different than what a lot of people have access to and what they're really wanting as a supplement. These are conversations that are going out from me to people right now. Those are all the ones. See, look at me. See how busy I am, Jean? If you're still watching, look, that's how I work all the time. I scheduled all those 100 messages or 20. But if I pick this person, can I just say I want to remove them? How do I get them off this list? I guess we don't know that answer. Maybe that's something we can find out. So what are you doing, Lindsay, if they say I'm not in the group anymore? Are you leaving them in the Facebook group member list, or are you somehow getting them out of this part?
So far, I've currently just removed the tag from
Yeah.
that group because they are still a contact, right, for me.
Yeah, they're still contact, but I'm saying they're still showing up in your Facebook group member list, even if you remove a contact though, aren't they?
No,
Oh, okay. So as soon as you remove the tag, they come off of that list, so to
and they
speak.
just stay in contacts.
Gotcha.
Because I've had people who are like, you know what, you can remove me if you want, but I'll possibly want stuff in the future, kind of thing, right? So I still want to maintain a connection with them.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know where to remove them though, because I'm inside the Arbonne I'm inside the Arbonne group. I don't see anywhere here that would allow me to remove myself just from the Arbonne group list.
I have a question on this page you're looking at. So this is what my original question was. So all
Okay.
your contacts.
Yeah.
So the one that says none, which means you don't have that tag on you, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so if you go to the bottom there, because when I was looking at mine didn't have, it had this list, but it never had my group name. So I added it in other. So
Oh
I
yeah,
don't-
where you just
I
searched
don't
it.
know.
Well, and this is new, Teddy. So I think it used to be that we had to create all the tags, but now it looks like he's kind of pulling from
Okay,
folders of tags that you've already created. So a lot of people aren't gonna have
okay.
18,000 things like this. So if you already have some, the goal is not to create new tags if they already fit something.
Okay, so yeah, because I just saw this lately and it's like, I don't understand where that came. So this is a new thing that he just put
It
on.
is a new thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it was just like, I don't understand what happened there. Okay.
yeah,
So-
yeah, and in a cleaner account, like, remember how we can get to contacts through here, or also you guys can get to contacts just by hovering over somebody's head. So if you hover over your contact and then it pulls up their list of things and then you get there that way, however you get there, my student account will be a lot cleaner. So if I go into, why isn't it popping up? Maybe the party plan people can't do that way. Party plan people might have to go through contact. Okay. So it looks like it doesn't open up contact. Automation people, you can hover over people's heads on Facebook and it can open up their contact card. Okay, so let's bring in somebody who's me, so I don't reveal anybody's secret information. It's gonna have a whole lot less folders because I've not created all these tag classes and folders, right? So here, look, all I got is journey and pipeline. The other ones that I've made don't fit into either of those things. And the way he's got the system is you can't even create.
Okay, so they're
tags.
still in there. They just don't have they're not in bold. So, but they still have a tag on them then if you had.
If I put them in one, but the party plan people, if you're a party plan person, you can only choose from journey tags, pipeline tags, it looks like. And then I don't think you can create other tags. Let me see, Arbonne customer. I don't think you can't create under party plan. But if you are an automation plan student and you can create more tags, it's still going to look very boring. It's not going to look insane like mine. Because I've created all these different companies. I used to be with Bravenly. I had all these different things. my CRM company, my student company. And then I've got all these folders within folders of tags for people in different pipelines and people in different parts of the journey. So Teddy, your goal then is to create the least amount of tags as possible with the most organization as possible. So ideally, they want to fit in one of these things. So when you do get to create one, if you do create one, just make sure it can kind of stand alone. So here's a peek at UCRM Arbonne build, because none of this makes sense. I can't make it fit one of these buckets, right?
Okay, it just threw me because I hadn't seen it before. It's like, oh my goodness, what happened here? So
Yeah, that happened to me too. I was like, oh, what is all this? Because it's everywhere. I think he's just trying to get our tags organized.
yeah, and then
You
what I
guys-
thought is like everybody had that tag. It's like, well, maybe everybody doesn't have that tag, but it just gives me
No.
my options then.
It's
Okay.
just options. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just kind of like your pre-build templates, I guess. So tomorrow we'll come back with more questions. I think it's important that you guys just remember you're inside of a Sicily social group and you're here this week focusing on the new party plan. But gosh, you hear already people doing things a little bit differently, having other questions, and you've got a couple of resources. I'll come back with you guys tomorrow. On Monday, every Monday, Cathy Andrews does a new user welcome call. If you've never been to one of these or it's been a while since you've been to one, she does them on Zoom and she also streams them to the group at 11 a.m. Central every single week. These are for the new users who want to learn kind of the basics, you know, how to start. It's not your full training, but it's usually only 1 or 2 people there. You can get more individual help with her. She's our systems and support success manager. And then if you just want to watch some past onboardings, you don't want to wait for Monday, you can find those in the discussion in the group. Other things is the welcome post always has the key information for like what's happening right now, how to get over to the new user post with Cathy, your back office training, although you can get to that in multiple ways. There are some things in the group files. I don't know why these aren't linking. Right here that some of you might like to read. I don't know. Some of you don't want to learn in video. You just want to read it. Like I made a whole workbook. It's really insane. Before the party class came. So this was before AFP. So now I have to go create this for AFP. I have to not only make the videos and the screenshots and the workbook, but this was for the CRM, how to generate leads on autopilot. If you have the automation plan, how to use the CRM. If you just have the basic plan and you have CRM features. And I think, I don't know if I did automate it. Yeah, those two. And then I made it like where you can read through it. You can even have like action tasks and little assignments. So I tried to help you guys as much as I can when you're learning new things in different ways, but now it's your job to communicate to us how we can best help you. So if you need more Zoom time like these, sometimes people say I get confused listening to other people's questions, right? If you need more one-on-one time, if you need more tech time, if you want to post in the group, just remember you've got a lot of people to support you. It's more about what do you need support with? What is your biggest fire? How can we help you? Tammy Jordan, if I do a build out with you, she's like, I don't even care about knowing this, just do it for me. Some people are going to be like that. I get it, right? Some people are like, no, I don't have, let me stop the share. I didn't win a prize or I don't want to pay for a build out. A build out is normally, I think it's almost $6,000 for build out. I'm doing 10 build outs for $1,000 right now. When I sold those, I sold 4 in like 0 seconds because nobody wants to do the build. I've also gifted them a lot, right? So I know Tammy Jordan got one and we're kind of picking up. I'm like, hey, when I build it for you, you still got to do some work. I'm like, maybe just redeem more time. And then we can just sit side by side. So you guys have to decide. Linnell, I know you were saying I would love to build out. I can give you so many templates, just like your upline can give you the boards app or give you, you know, the timeline. But you've got to go plug it into your system, or if you use our system. And then Rosalind, if you want to build for Ruby Ribbon, I think you guys should go make a business out of this personally. This is what you see in those Ruby Ribbon girls doing with Project Broadcast. They build for their team. They sell it to other people who are not on their team. And I don't know if they sell it to their team or give it to their team. And then they just put it into the system for you. And you've got all the work done. And you're like, I'd rather pay for it than do it. Or find your upline, get her connected with me. I'm trying to get connected with some of the Pampered Chef girls because there's a lot of you in here. I don't have Pampered Chef. I'm not a Pampered Chef rep. I can't make up your party. And I don't have the rights to the content, right? So if you end up Arbonne girls, there's a certain amount that I have because Jean's given me stuff to put in there. Nicole Chug gave me stuff to put in there and I agreed. I won't charge you if I can put it in there as long as I can give it to everybody. That's how I did with Nicole. So I built the whole 3.5-month onboarding for her team. I did not try, it was gonna be a $6,000 build out. I'm like, I'll put it in there and I'll put everything that somebody was gonna charge you for, I'll do it. But I wanna give it to the whole community. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now I can only do that when I have so much time.
Well,
So-
I apologize for being late. We had an emergency at the barn with a horse, so I'm late. I had a couple questions. One, when we import the contacts from a group, does it continuously sync them after that, or do you have to re-import?
No, everything, well, when you import them from a group, it'll keep syncing. And if you guys have to go, don't feel like you have to stay. I know we're answering questions and some of you are hungry to learn and some of you are like, I need to go have lunch.
And so then, yeah, so it'll just continuously, like, so after the party, someone comes in, because I have people afterwards still
lingering.
join it and check stuff.
Unless, Linnell, you have actions that are tied to a date and time and that date and time has passed, it might bring them in. But it can't execute those actions. If you said 3 days after the party starts, send them a reminder of the live. If they come in on day 4, it can
Okay.
sync them to the group, but it can't execute a past action.
Right, okay. The other question is, so I imported my one group and I'm only seeing maybe 15 people and there should be about 60.
Okay, when did you import it?
Whichever day we started doing this, Tuesday maybe?
If you guys see that, there's a couple things I could tell you to go to the group watch checklist. Linnell, here's the tech answer. Go to the checklist, see if you missed any of the steps. If you're ever like, what is she talking about? If you're gonna complain to Dominique, he's gonna say, check the checklist first. So don't complain about it not working until we've checked it. So let's do our due diligence. We're gonna go over to pretend that we're gonna say it's not working, because I would say then it's not working. That would be my reaction, but he's like, no, they didn't do it right.
I was gonna
So
say,
we're gonna
I would
find
say I
out
probably
right
didn't do
now.
it right.
If you didn't do it right, we're gonna find out now. And I think I have this shortcutted under files, but let me see, because if not, the group watch checklist and the group checklist, these are important ones to save. Okay, so Linnell, my gut reaction would be to say it should have done it by now, go file a support ticket. Because there's common reasons it doesn't work. If we try to do that, there's going to be a step that says, wait, before you file a support ticket, download this checklist and check it. So we're going to do that step and make sure there's nothing
Okay.
not running correctly for that import to happen. If, and this is why I'm going to say, just save this page once it loads because it's slow loading. If you check it and you're like, I did everything correctly, and then it's still not working correctly, then file support. So this page right here, I'm going to give you guys in the chat box. I think if it's it's in your training also. I think I can at least add this link. I can't add it to files, huh? I'm going to add this link for now into the group. Something not working? Working with a group import. Check this list first before filing. But again, if you're like, where's that checklist? You'll always get it when you try to go file support. It'll be like, hey, stop. Now, the biggest things that happen is if you read through this is number 1, and these seem basic, but make sure your extension is running. Okay, guys, make sure your extension is running and you're seeing the icons in Messenger and on Post. If you don't see both of those, you need to go to the Chrome extension checklist. So Linnell, what that means is, do I see the extension here,
do that.
here? Yes. Messenger.com. See how I'm on Messenger, but I don't see the extension yet? Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. If you see it, oh, down like, okay, we're good on both of those. Step 1 done. Go to the back office. Make sure nothing's paused.
Mine is on Messenger, but it's on a different location than where yours was. Like on my computer, it's over, like I'm clicked on a person and her picture is over to the right and the extension pops up over there.
Well, as long as you see the extension, but make sure you're actually on messenger.com. That's the most important part. Yeah, because going into here and then being a messenger, people don't sometimes know this is not the same as messenger.com. So always make sure you have messenger.com. So just go through your checklist. Make sure nothing's paused, which we can actually check through here, and make sure this does not say resume. If it says resume, that means everything's paused. If it says pause, that means if you clicked it, it would pause it. So you're good. At least I'm good. You can check yours.
Yep, that's good stuff.
Yep. Go to your account and settings, make sure there's no, nothing not linked correctly. If your Facebook page's account has a red circle, this is a problem. Go to your Facebook groups and make sure there's no errors. So here's where I miss a lot of steps, and I don't know about you guys. I don't pay attention to my task dashboard, and I don't read the texts that come through the system. And I'll be like, it's not working, it's not working. And then there might have been a task on my dashboard to tell me you have an error with your group, and I didn't read it, okay? So sometimes it's like just looking at your tasks to make sure there's no, nothing that's an error. Also, so that's clear, looking under your groups, like he notifies us in multiple ways when there's an error on his side, but sometimes I just don't read those notifications. So here you would have a red, which I've had one, I've had a red exclamation mark in my group section before. I've had a task on my dashboard, I've had a text message, and I just didn't realize. So if that all looks good, he said go under linked accounts. So go to account, just check that you're logged in, check that you're, sometimes you got logged out of Facebook, sometimes the group got unlinked, that typically doesn't happen. But make sure, oh, look, see red task, but that's for my email. So my group is good. So if it were me, I'm like, I'm good. Now I would file support.
And so, okay, now, so when it says, no, I just went to do linked accounts and it says you have at least one account requiring login. Please address this by clicking required logins.
So if it says that, then on the right, it probably says that you need a login instead of no task or edit. And so see, sometimes it is that basic stuff. Then he's got the rest of the stuff, you know, it's just reminding you it's going to take you making sure. Now you've already started yours syncing, so you know it just kind of paused. It's not that you forgot to add an automation or add a tag. So he's just reminding you of the steps and then reminding you it can take time. Linnell, since you're new, I'm going to guess you don't have 8,000 automations running, but here's a whole bunch of things you can look at. Sometimes I will tell you guys, I thought it was brilliant to go import a group of 100,000 people for some dumb reason. I was just doing a demo. And I choose a group with over 100,000 people to import. I'm like, Dominique, nothing's working. He's like, when did you start importing this group of 100,000 people? I was like, oh. So just because you could doesn't mean you should. So you might be prospecting, or you might be in a vendor event and you might decide to import the group and it's got 3,000 people in it. Now it's going to be tied up because remember it told you can only do 500 an hour. Up to 10,000. And so then you might say, well, that's why it's tied up, but that's none of those are the case for you. So I'd say go through the checklist, sync your group, and then file support if it's still not synced up.
No, now, yeah, now pardon me. It popped up saying this tab is being used by PC. So I think I'm linked. Well, no, it says my password doesn't match. Really? Are you kidding me? Oh, do I have?
I'll just mention though, as you guys may not realize, there's two windows that should always be running in the back. I noticed earlier that my social attache window was there, but my Facebook wasn't. This is actually assistly working. So if you're ever curious what she's doing right now, you can look at this page. Don't touch this page. Don't undo this page. Don't do anything else on this page. It's supposed to run in the background, but you know how sometimes it pops up to the front of the window. So if you're just curious, like, is the system working? If you got to go do your audit on your assistant, instead of being on the window you're on, you can just switch windows by clicking on window and then switch over to the one that is your social attache, because that's the system running. Oh, wrong window. Running in the background. Hold on. Which window is it? Find the window that it is. That one. Okay, mine just says Facebook. And then you can see, oh yeah, it's running. I see the tab. I see it says don't touch anything. I verified everything. My only reason for never wanting to stop my computer is I do not like whenever I have to make sure everything is all synced in the beginning. So sometimes I'd rather just let it run for a bit. But if you do turn your computer off, turn it back on, go to facebook.com, messenger.com, open up PCAT UCO, and this window will start running. Just let it do its business. Leave it be, and you can go to work doing whatever you want to do during the meantime. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So it popped up again saying the same thing, but then it said I was attached. I was logged in.
Yeah. Well, see if it starts syncing now. If you're unsure and you're new, just file support, and he can definitely get with you if there's something. He'll be able to tell on the logs.
Yeah, it's telling me my Facebook requires login, which I keep Oh, my Facebook now requires login. Jeez, Pete's. Okay. So it's me.
Yeah, tech is fun, but I tell you guys, and if there's anything that is a common, I was talking with Cathy Andrews. I'm going to meet with Lindsay later. Lindsay, are we supposed to be meeting at 12 o'clock?
Yeah, we're 42 minutes late.
Here I was thinking I don't have a meeting till 1 o'clock, so I'm answering questions. Okay, we got to go. Lindsay and I have a meeting. We'll come back tomorrow.
I'm like, she's not going to worry because I'm in this one.
Yeah, but we're going to be talking about the affiliate program and all that stuff. Okay, so let's bring back any other questions you guys have. Thanks for being such good students. If you enjoy just learn, Rosalind's been through so many of these kind of calls. Jean DuPont has been. Some people just enjoy seeing and hearing. If it is overwhelming and you are not interested, just message us with where you're at, what you need, so that we can guide you to the training or guide you to the steps that you guys need to do. Okay. All right, it's good to see you. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Tammy. All right, let's do a fun. It's not as fun when I'm not on Facebook Live. Let's do a swag giveaway. Lindsay, pick a. I wasn't watching. Pick a random winner, either from the screen. Just pick a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 box, or a random number. Just a random person in the group. Give me a number or a name.
HP.
HP. Who is our HP? Oh, it's Karen Bass. Karen Bass. I mean, Karen, pretty soon I'm just gonna have to come clean your house because I got nothing else to give you. I'll be like, can I do babysitting? I'll take that. I'm stacking up. I want to start swagging you guys anyway. I want to start having like a Sisley social and
That's going to be so
social
much
sales
fun.
for VIP and all that. All right, peek at you prize to the number on your screen. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody can exit. I'll keep Lindsay on. Thank you guys for your time, and we'll come back and Zoom again. And if this is beneficial, bring your questions or anything you want to learn between now and then. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
You're welcome.
Lindsay, too. You're really helpful also.
What'd you say, Jean?
I said, thank you, Cathy and Lindsay. She brings a lot of great questions that I think I
She
have.
does.
so.
Hey, Jean, one thing I need from you before tomorrow, because maybe we could do the rest of your build out, is if we had on that, remember me and you built that piece of paper. If you have the paper, if I have it, just see if there's any other steps in your 7-day fresh start group that you want to add.
Do you want me to send you a few of the things that we send out, like the papers?
Yeah, yes, because I have some of the stuff we worked on together, but if you have more stuff that you want on
Well,
there, just
I
kind
don't
of
know what I
collect
sent you,
it.
so
Yeah.
I'll send you the things like there's a day in the person, I think is a great one, but I'll just send, I can do it right away.
Anything that I don't already have. Yeah, just as you
Okay.
can learn. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and remove everybody that's not Lindsay, and we'll see you guys, or you can exit yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Lindsay, I'm sorry. I was looking
Hey.
at my calendar. I'm like, I'm good. I got till 1.
Yeah, no worries. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's
Jamie-
no big deal. I'm here.
Well,
Cathy?
I'm gonna do a, at 1 o'clock, I have Jamie Shack, but she is a Norwex rep who's done a lot of build outs in our system. And she's looking to do some, just get reacquainted with some of the new features. So, okay, Sarah, I'm gonna remove you. Linnell, I'm gonna let you go. And then I will see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Okay, let's dive in. I can start
All
the
right.
recording.
Yeah, do that first before I speak.
Stop video. Stop
All right.
video. Remove.
Not on, don't want this on YouTube.
Cut the YouTube.